What a bombshell of an episode. Prince Liam has just bedded his brother's one true love. Let's get right to it. We're going to be covering The Royals Season 3, Episode 2, Passing Through Nature to Eternity right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, Afterbuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh my gosh. This episode, crazy.
I screamed at the end of it. Anyone else?
I was just like on shock and on. I was like, I knew it. I had an inkling the whole time.
Same. Fern, did you?
The whole time, I'm like, who is she? They didn't explain last week. They didn't explain this week. And then at the end, I was like, is that her? That's her.
Yeah.
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
As soon as I saw the tattoo, I was like, all right, the jig is up.
Well, we are reeling, but we should introduce ourselves before we freak out anymore. Hey guys, it's Megan Stecher. Again this week, you can tweet me at Megan Stecher. Also on Instagram and Snapchat at the same name. And look who's back.
I'm so happy to be back. This is Fern Ronay. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Fern Ronay.
And hey guys, it's Ally Nasta here. You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl.
And guys, I'm Sam Davidson. I'm super excited to be here tonight. I love this show. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43, and I'm in the live chat, so please keep on chatting, guys.
Yay, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, I am so excited.
Okay, where do we start? We return to see Prince Robert still stranded on a desert island. This cute little tiny island all to himself. He's starting to have hallucinations. And he imagines himself kind of having a firing squad of the press pepper him with questions if he were to return back to the palace. He really imagines what that would be like. He's going to keep having visions throughout the rest of the episode, so we'll let that lie right there for a sec. This was one of those choppy episodes that it's so hard to recap, but we'll do our best for everyone tonight. And then Eleanor is awoken by a little girl who starts peppering her with questions. So I right away knew this must be Mr. Hill's daughter. I imagined her to be a little older.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And maybe that's the way he described her last season that maybe we all thought.
Yeah, because he was talking about how she was the reason he came to the palace, and so you expect someone to be a little bit more older because of the value of how mature that was to tell your dad, hey, you should go help them.
Right.
But I thought as soon as she started talking to him, I was like, all right, there's no other reason why there should be a little girl in that palace other than the reason that he's living there now.
She is Sarah Alice, and you can call her Sarah or you can call her Alice.
And I love little kids with British accents, by the way.
Yes,
so
so
adorable.
Like, do you guys remember The Holiday, that movie with Cameron? And there was that moment with Jude Law's kids.
Yes, they were so adorable.
Kind of reminded me a little bit.
Allow me. You look like my Bobby. Yeah, that is like the best line of the movie. My boyfriend and I always quote that whenever I'm like, oh, let's watch that movie. And we're always like, you look like my Bobby. It's so cute.
So cute.
Anywho, so she's adorable, but she's very talky, and Eleanor has to quickly jump out of bed to keep her from touching cocaine she has left out on her bedroom coffee table.
Yes.
And this is when we get a great look at Eleanor's new bedroom. So last episode, she and Jasper started painting the back of her door where she had spray painted it all the way back in season 1, but now her entire bedroom, rather than that old like blue and gold wallpaper that she had, her entire bedroom's this beautiful dark hunter green, like emerald green. And lots of gold is now popping out on the walls as far as the accessories and the bedding and everything. Did anybody else pick up on that? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. I was really excited to it felt like it was more her, the darker vibes. Totally, like, I felt like it made her shine and brighter as a person. I don't know why.
I agree.
It's a good point, though, to pick up on that kind of stuff, because I feel like the interior of the palace and the fashion and just furniture, everything, interior design, it's a reflection, I feel like, of the characters' personalities or what they're going through, especially Eleanor's room, though.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week. Megan brought up that her outfit was kind of like a circus outfit, as if her life is like she's living in a circus. So that was amazing to be picked up on as well.
Yeah. I feel like the... Oh, go ahead, Fern.
Oh, she just cleaned up the spray paint, right? So her life went from messy and chaotic, even though it's still a little messy, to it's getting cleaner. It's getting greener pastures abound.
Fern has a great touch with like the other side and spirituality. If you guys don't know, so I love her takes on everything. Fern has an amazing book about that. What's it called again?
Better in the Morning. Enough about me.
I don't mind. I don't mind dropping your book title. Available on Amazon. Any of our books are sold online. So yes, we love like the art department and the wardrobe department. Always give us these amazing hints, and it's wonderful to pick up on them and be like, oh, what a gift! Like they're trying to tell us a story, not just through words and actions of the characters. And we get to revisit with Katherine, so the mystery bartender from last week that we're all kind of confused about. She tells Will in the morning she put her number in his phone. So apparently he had her number because they mentioned a text at some point in the episode, but she didn't know how to get a hold of him.
Oh, okay.
She said something about you texted me, but now...
Yeah,
was that at the end of the episode? Or
Yeah, I think she was just basically saying, like, I don't have a way of contacting you, basically the ball's in your court. And you could tell a lot of that the whole episode, like, it's up to you to make this move. And so I just kind of took that as she definitely was into him, and I could tell she was into him, but I knew there was something there that wasn't quite right, and obviously we find that out. But yeah, I think she just was kind of like, balls in your court, because I'm not going to be the one to make that big move and that huge step. And clearly she's going through a lot of emotional problems right now too, as much as he is. So it's like they're kind of the comfort for each other.
Right.
I don't know. I was kind of confused by their whole thing, and I'm excited to rewatch it now, knowing that information, because then you think about his conversation with Eleanor, and if she would have known who he was really going for, like, what's that going to look like?
Agreed. And I think that lends itself to when they were talking about, this isn't a good idea, I shouldn't. Conversations he has with Eleanor and conversations he has with Katherine, and then at the end, the big reveal, you're like, well, that's why. Like, wasn't a good idea. So they hug goodbye, and it's kind of still mysterious who she is, although she has a gorgeous apartment and a fabulous grocery list on the door behind her.
I did notice that. It's like chocolate.
Chocolate. I was like, she likes chocolate and wine? Yes. Then we get to see the Queen's bedroom in the next scene, which is amazing. So she has an amazing new bedroom this season as well, which I watched a video Mark Schwann did with Elizabeth Hurley on E's website for the show. She calls it a Tiffany box bedroom. So it's beautiful Tiffany blue with all the gold ornamental things that go on in a royal bedroom. And if you would like some royal sheets, I have an idea for you.
Oh, tell us.
Bowl and branch sheets are the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever sleep on. And with the holidays coming, they're the perfect, thoughtful gift. That is a great idea. My sister just bought a house, so I should get her some sheets. She has bedrooms to fill. Because when you give Bowl and Branch, you're giving something everyone wants but rarely gets. It's a perfect night's sleep. Bowl and Branch makes it easy for you. Shipping is free. Woo, we all need that with all of our Christmas gifts.
Yes,
free
we
shipping.
do.
And they come beautifully packaged in a gorgeous gift box. No gift wrapping needed. Also a bonus, I'm always paying extra for gift wrapping. Pick up a set of Bowl and Branch sheets for yourself and your guest bedroom to get your house ready for the holidays. These are 100% organic cotton sheets, which means they start out super soft and get even softer over time every time you watch them, which is awesome.
It's amazing.
And they also last longer because they're organic, which is great. Everyone loves Bowl and Branch sheets. They have thousands of 5-star reviews, which is really important. That's the way I do all my shopping, is reading the reviews. Even 3, this is an excellent thing to know, you guys. 3 U.S. presidents sleep on Bowl and Branch sheets. Pretty great. That's why Bowl and Branch lets you sleep on them for 30 nights, and if you're not thrilled, just send them back for a refund. Amazing. Can't lose, you guys.
That's a good trade.
Right now, for our listeners, order at bowlandbranch.com and get $50 off a set of sheets. That's $50 off at bowlandbranch.com. Promo code podcast1. Guys, that's spelled, might be a little hard for you guys to envision how that's spelled. It's BOLL and branch, as in like a tree branch.com. And our promo code is podcast1 for $50 off.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
I think the Queen's probably sleeping on those fabulous
I'm sure
organic
she
sheets.
She definitely is.
If the U.S. presidents sleep on them, why wouldn't the Queen of England sleep on them?
Of course.
Of course.
We get to see a really great scene. Like, it's one of those funny fill-in-the-blanks frilly scenes that we get in the show that's kind of fun and comedic, where you see her preparing for her day, and the staff just like floods in and is pampering her, but she dismisses them to have a meeting with her new Lord Chamberlain, who's going over her schedule and menu of the day. And I think we're kind of being told here, you guys tell me what you think, that she kind of has a crush on him after what happened last week, because she has this big smile on her face that she's hiding.
Oh, totally. She totally, like, has a crush on him, and she's trying to forget it and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to push this aside. We're totally going to see this, happen and rehash.
It's like Eleanor and Jasper.
Exactly. And Cyrus and Violet, like, you know, they're all susceptible to falling in love with the help.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems like a good place to go shopping for a lover at the Royal Palace.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. They probably had really good sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he did exactly what she wanted. She wanted to be, like, thrown around and put in her place.
And he was like, okay, I got that.
I rewatched that today, and I was like, dude, is a little, like, that you shouldn't have responded that way if you were not there to do that.
Totally. If like you knew you were in an interview, then that's kind of taking advantage of the situation. Like I would not be able to go into an interview and then like have that happen and then be like, okay, I'm ready. Like what?
Yeah.
Right.
So FYI, he's down for whatever.
Exactly. Clearly.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, he's not in on it. He just knows to play along. Like, all right. No wonder she hired.
I love this new character because I love any time we get a new character and trying to decide if they're going to be good or evil. And I think they can do so much with him as far as, you know, the queen wanting to get her way, or will he flip and turn, you know, to Cyrus's camp? We never know. So I enjoy being teased.
So does she.
She definitely does.
Cyrus appears on the same talk show that the Prince and Princess appeared on last week. He tells the world he has cancer, which is a huge shocker, but it's kind of glazed right over. We don't get to see the people's, like I said last week, actually, we don't get to see the people's reaction to him telling the world he has cancer. But I thought it was interesting he wore a violet-colored suit to tell everyone the only good person in the palace was Violet.
Oh,
you know,
another good observation.
Yeah, you know, with the whole Violet thing, this is the one time where I've seen Cyrus so really into somebody and like a different side of himself. And just kind of having him talk about Violet again, I was like, okay, that's the Cyrus. Had Violet been able to stay on a little bit longer, Cyrus, I think, could have turned for the better. And he was like, whenever he talks about her, I feel for him. And obviously last episode I was talking about how he's so evil. But when you see that side and his vulnerability, it just makes me heartbroken for him that he didn't even get a chance of happiness. And his whole life he's been struggling to get any sort of glimpse of happiness or people to like him or enjoy his company.
Such a good point. He doesn't even love his daughters. He like can't stand them.
No, he's a jerk though, and not that this matters. Like, if you're bisexual, you clearly can be in love with like a man or a woman. But I feel like everybody forgets in the first season. I think it was like, I mean, he was, you know, having sex with men, and that's like awesome, and I'm glad that they put that in the show. But now, I don't know, to be like, oh, he was so in love with this woman, for some reason, it's just still kind of like hard for me to be like, well, you know, is he good, is he bad, and now he has cancer, but I don't even feel that bad for him because he's so evil. It's just confusing to me.
I feel like it rounds him out a little, like to show that he's not all one thing. Like he's not all evil. There are elements of
That's a good point.
Of vulnerability, which makes him more believable.
For sure. And I was really excited to see that side of him again and really have him talk about Violet, because we kind of, usually when someone dies in the show, we just kind of like brush him off like it never happened. So I was glad that he did bring her back, but when he was chasing after her, I was like, Cyrus, this is making me sad. Even though I know he's evil, but when I hear him like see that vulnerability, I feel for him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It makes him relatable.
It does. It's important to remember that he did love someone and she left him. She's gone. The queen got rid of him, which probably maybe wasn't a good idea in the end. Maybe. We'll see. We get another hallucination from Robert in the next scene. He now sees a beautiful blonde woman, although we can't see her face, so we don't know who it is. But we come to find out it was Katherine.
As soon as I saw the blonde girl go by, I was like, that's Katherine.
Like, you knew right then.
I totally put that together, because at first I was kind of like, I knew something was going on that was awkward with them, but as soon as that blonde girl walked past, I was like, okay, this is what I'm putting together, and it started to make more sense.
Okay.
But that was just for me. Did you guys think the same thing?
Yeah, at that point, because they were piecing the scenes together, that he was in bed with her, and then it was like intercuts of those two things. So I was like, okay, I think I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we talk about Robert for 1 second?
Of course.
So I was thinking back to last episode and realizing that we saw him wake up as if he had just gotten in the crash. I'm confused. Do you guys have any idea of the timeline of this, or was this supposed to be a flashback of we're gonna see we're just seeing bits and pieces of it now, and then they're gonna be like, oh well, this happened. You know what I mean? I felt like the timeline was a little off for me, because I thought for me it looked like as if he had just woken up, as if the plane had just crashed. Did you guys feel that way, or do you think he was just sleeping? I don't know.
I think that he honestly was up to some bad stuff, and I think he got involved in a lot of bad stuff. I think that the person we see now when he comes back to the palace, which he will, obviously, it's going to be really dark. He's going to be super dark, and I think that him in himself is, all full of secrets and lots of things that we can discover. That's not, I don't think, really good.
Interesting.
They did say the timeline was 8 months, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
So Eleanor, when we do see Eleanor in one of his hallucinations, asking him couldn't you have been rescued or come home? You stayed there willingly, and what did she say, 8 or 9 months? So I think that's how long it has been that he's been stranded and shot down. But I think when we did see him wake up, kind of the end of last season, beginning of this season thing, that was kind of out of order of timeline. That was just to show you that he was alive.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was thinking about it this episode, watching him trying to, just survive, and I was like, wait, then I just didn't really understand. But thank you for clearing it up.
I cannot wait for him to come back. He is going to be...
It's going to be
bombshell.
I know, it's going to be a disaster.
I'm already wrong, because my prediction last week was that we were going to see Robert surviving on the island the whole season, and Liam really being ready to take over by King, and the season finale would be Robert's home. Oh my God, what do we do? We just are trying to, Liam would either have been freshly minted king or on the cusp of it.
It's good.
And that Robert's return would ruin it. So I'm wrong. Week 2.
But he's not back yet.
Yes, this is true.
But it does see the direction that it's going in. But I honestly, at this point, think Liam would be thank God. Take it. I don't want this.
And then he can really just do his own thing. Because like Eleanor was talking to him, you haven't been your own happy. You haven't found your happy yet.
You guys, I just had this epiphany.
Okay, go.
Okay, this is so sad.
Oh no.
Okay, what if Liam and Robert's relationship turns into his father and his brother's relationship?
Oh my God.
That kind of would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, also
Season 4.
Yeah. That could happen, because we don't. Obviously we saw the good sides. We hear the good sides of Robert. We don't actually know what he was like behind closed doors. We don't know what he was doing. So maybe he could have been putting on this whole act, because he was even confused. So that's a really great. We'll see what happens there.
That's really good.
Well, it makes me even more excited to see where they're going to go with Robert, because. Can you imagine when he does go back, his dad will have been murdered, and then his girlfriend, or, ex-girlfriend, is going to be sleeping with his brother. Things are going to get crazy.
Agreed. I would sign up to go back to that island, maybe, when I got home.
He kind of looks like the guy that plays Christian Grey a little bit to me. What's his name? Jamie...
James Dornan? Is that his name?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not into those movies. Sorry, I'm the only one who's not.
Yeah,
I'm
me either. Nope, never seen it. No,
I haven't seen it. I couldn't get through the first book, and I felt like I wouldn't like the movies that much either.
They probably are right in that one.
I'm more of a Twilight girl. So the queen meets with Wilhelmina. From the last episode, she had met her in the tube and said, please come meet me at the palace. So they're meeting at the palace, and they agreed to call her Willow instead of Wilhelmina. So that kind of seemed a little out of place to me, but I'm wondering if it was one of those weird things where the audience didn't like her name and thought it was too old-fashioned or something.
Maybe.
So they're like, the scriptwriters are like, let's give her a new name.
Well, I think Wilhelmina, it's Wilhelmina Models. They're like, you know, the biggest like modeling agency, and that's what I thought the first time I heard her name. So maybe, yeah, they realized it a little late, and they were like, let's change it.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I like the exchange.
Yeah.
Do you like, you know, she said, what do you like to be called? I like to be called Willow. I like to be called Your Majesty.
Yes.
So that was her asserting her power, as always.
For sure.
Our sassy queen looking down at everyone. The queen wants to hire her to rile up the public, run the social media, to keep doing this hashtag King Liam campaign. It seems like she kind of doesn't really give her a yes or no. She's like wants to be able to trust the queen.
That was ballsy.
and
To say
I
to the
was-
queen, if I could trust you.
Right. I was wondering kind of what was her motive in saying that. It wasn't clear to me.
I think it's because she's in love with Liam.
Oh.
She's totally in love with him, and I think he might sometimes play off of it. Like he knows that she feels a little bit more for him than he does her, but he knows that she'll be there for him, and he needs as much as that support that he can get. So I think he might be taking a little bit of advantage of her feelings, but I think that's why she's so hesitant, because I was questioning, is she going to tell Liam or is she going to keep it quiet? And luckily we saw that she did tell Liam, and she was looking for his approval. So she's just trying to figure out, is this going to ruin my relationship with him, which, you know, that's what she was talking about. And she doesn't want that to happen because she's going to confess her love.
Right.
That's my thoughts.
Right. Yeah, she was like making sure it really is in Liam's best interest,
Yeah.
this thing she wants her to do. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the whole time that we've seen Willow come in, it's always when she's picking Liam up when he's down, and she's always there to be like the positive light in his life. And he always takes her advice, and then we kind of don't see anything happen with it.
Right.
But she always pops back in. So
Right.
that's what I think's gonna happen with that one.
Maybe a better choice for Liam.
Right?
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
She's beautiful. What's wrong with her? I mean, honestly, I felt like Liam last season at the end had so many different kind of like girls that he was talking to.
Yeah.
And they all blended into me. And then this episode, I was like, wait, are these people from last season? Like, I need a little refresher with all of Liam's women.
Yeah.
know.
Well, with Willow, I mean, she like got drenched in that thing, and he was like, "I won't leave you waiting," and then left her waiting, and then he was like, "I'm sorry," but that's kind of like all we saw about that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we'll see maybe that fester a little bit and maybe come into a conflict later on the season.
Ooh, I love it. I love how there's a possibility of everything.
Yes.
Mr. Hill comes in to have a conversation with Jasper, hugs his daughter, a little pat on the butt, sends her off, and then he talks to Jasper about getting closer to Eleanor and introduces kind of what the rest of the episode is about with Jasper and Eleanor, as far as if the public finds out they're dating, it will be heavily scrutinized and probably won't be too good for the relationship. Let me try to buzz through some of this stuff, and then we can chat. Okay. The queen meets with her team to discuss Cyrus's appearance on the talk show, and I always say the names wrong. Mr. Honisberg, I guess, is Lord Chamberlain's last name. I guess that's how you pronounce it. He suggests that, guess what? He just gave us the paternity proof we need to get, and let's get it tonight. Eleanor teases Jasper that he is seeing Sarah Alice, and she's smitten. And he says they never said they were exclusive, and she says that works both ways. So now not only do we have is it a good idea or not a good idea for them to date, there's this whole we're not exclusive, and now we're going to go back and forth between the two of them. Okay, let's stop right there for a sec. Okay,
I will say I'm really excited to see this kind of pause for Jasper and Len. Like, we've seen so much push and pull. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of it, but the fact that we're seeing not like really closure, but a start of something exciting with their relationship, because we've been dying for it to happen, and we're finally seeing it fester into something amazing. And Jasper has been so open and willing to make this work, and it makes me so excited and so happy, because Len deserves this more than anybody. Sam, you're smiling. What are you thinking?
I just can't not smile when I think about Jasper.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
And I mean, did you guys talk about this at all before? I think their social media, because I sometimes, they're dating, right?
I don't know. They should be.
I think that they're doing something together.
That's what I
so
said last
too.
week. It's like she only admits that they're best friends all the time, and I think that they are dating but keeping it quiet.
Like Jasper and Eleanor.
Yeah. But honestly, I really hope it is because, first of all, they're just like, they have such amazing chemistry.
It just jumps off the screen. Like, the electricity I feel when I watch them is insane.
It's unreal. Like, and it feels so real, too.
Yes.
It's not just like an acting love. It's literally like, it's amazing. And I'm excited to see their relationship finally start to grow, and I'm glad that he did talk to Mr. Hill about the possibilities of this not working, and I'm glad they're having a conversation about it. You know what I mean? They're not keeping it bottled up. Everything's on the table right now, and that's what we've all been waiting for, is to everything finally be on the table for them to figure out what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he even got this far, considering what he was there for originally. So now that like she's forgiven him and it's a possibility, it's so exciting.
It is so exciting, and just the way that he was like finally being like, yeah, okay, I'm jealous, and admitting to those faults. Because I feel like if we would have watched Jasper maybe a season ago, he would not admit to being jealous and not admit to feeling these ways about Len.
Yeah, but Sherry Friedman in the chat said, there will be more drama for Len. It scares me. It scares me when things are good, especially
That's
for
true.
her.
Yeah.
She's a real self-sabotager.
Yeah.
And we know that Beck comes back because he was in the trailer.
Oh, that's right. I don't like when Beck comes back. Obviously, I think I love Beck as a character, but him with Len, I don't like them together because he tries so hard to change who she is rather than help her become, a healthier person and not be on drugs. He just so much is like cold turkey. I don't want you to do this because it's not working for me.
Yeah.
It's not about her. It's about him. And that's what I don't like. I know he definitely loves her and wants his best interest for her, but it's more for his benefit, not hers. And that's what I don't like about Beck. I really don't want to see them have a thing again.
And that's that. Let's continue on talking about Eleanor and Jasper's storyline throughout the show. Oh my gosh, this is so hard as much as this show skips around here. Mr. No. So, Eleanor visits Liam in his bedroom. He's back home from Katherine's apartment. He's trying to conceal his black eye with only a baseball hat, which I am wearing a black baseball hat. I'm so Liam tonight. She pops her concealer right out of her bag and starts concealing his eye. And she's like, "What's going on with you?" And she's really trying to put to bed his issues in his head. And she said, "You know what, Liam? You're not going to bend to the darkness like Ted did." And she tries to convince him to go to the electric carnival with Jasper as their detail. He knows what she's up to with bringing Jasper as their detail, but they go anyway. At the carnival, Eleanor tells the press she's not dating anyone exclusively, which was very pointed at Jasper, which he took note of.
Yeah, she looked at him. She went, because I'm not dating anybody exclusively. And I was like, yes! Jasper, did you hear that?
Then Eleanor and Liam meet a guy, Charlie Madden, and Willow has met him there as well and says they just met. I don't remember this Charlie Madden fellow. I assume for the fact that they throw his full name out and then we really don't see him again, that he'll be used again for something else.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like Liam and them, they have those friends that are there around these parties, and they're always the ones to try to make him forget about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see him again, just like some of his other friends throughout the seasons.
Jasper gets upset about Eleanor flirting with a guy and goes and knocks him out.
I was like, go Jasper.
Liam talks to Eleanor at the concert about, playing games, and she says, "Dude, it's Girl 101. I have to make him tell me before I say anything to him about moving on and getting any deeper. He has to be like, no, I want to be exclusive with you." Which is Girl 101.
Oh, it is. As soon as you tell a guy they like you, they're like, see ya. I was like, seriously? And they won't even give you a chance. So the fact that she's like, all right, he's got to admit to me, I've been basically waiting. And we've seen this for so long, and she's been hurt so many times. He does deserve to tell her first.
Well, It's true, but it's just, I don't know, the two of them, it's like one's fire and one's gasoline, and they each, like, switch off who's who, and it scares me, but I can't even keep a straight, like, I can't talk straight, I can't walk straight, or think straight, or look straight when I'm talking about Jasper, especially if it's Jasper and Eleanor, but yeah, I'm, like, like my hands are moving for those that are listening. I mean, there was one day, it was like a Sunday, and I was hungover or something, and I just went deep into stalking him.
Like down the rabbit hole, social media?
Like really down the rabbit hole, and then I was just like, put it away. I was like, this is too much, Sam, you have a problem.
No, he is.
You can do that to a girl.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jasper, Eleanor asks him, why are all the boys disappearing that she's been flirting with all day? I think they've met a similar fate that the other guy did, who got pushed between the porta potties after he got knocked out. Jasper, and she tries to get some more information out of him, too. And he's like, no, you know what? I'm discreet. And here's the information I will give you. He's like, Liam's feeling guilty. He also likes a girl, but's keeping his distance from her. And then Jasper goes and has a conversation with Liam about this kind of stuff and talks in an English accent. He takes his sunglasses off from security guard duty and starts speaking in an English accent. I wasn't sure what that was about, other than he's trying to, like, blend in and look like one of his friends or something.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it always bothers me with him.
Yeah, he switches it back and forth all the time, but I'm like, I think I've just gotten prone to not thinking about his dialect, because sometimes I hear it, and then sometimes I don't. I'm like, wait, which one were you doing this episode? I'm not exactly sure.
I think it's when he's in public and people can hear him.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
But sometimes he does it in the palace, too.
Yeah,
like,
but
he
there's
did it
still
with Mr.
people
Hill, I
around.
think.
Not even
that's
public,
true.
but, like, still if there's, like, people around. Because does
you're
Mr.
right.
Hill really know? Does he know? No, he doesn't know Jasper.
I think he does.
Does he?
He does know, because I think he said something, about, like, protecting Len and, like, making sure.
Last year he said, like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so it weirds me out how he does that. But
It
I'll
was very
look past
back and
it.
forth.
Yeah. That's like a Mark Schwann question for us.
Yeah, there must be a
Because I feel like it's
reason.
purposeful.
Yeah.
It is, for
And
sure.
And the other thing is, he is British in real life, Tom Austin. So when, speaking in an English accent all the time, or, American accent all the time is actually him fake acting, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's not actually American.
It gets
so it's-
confusing. I'm like, when
Yeah.
he starts speaking in the British accent, I'm like, wait, was he supposed to do that? Did he slip up? Did the people filming it not even catch that? Like, it just makes me very confused. Liam says when Robert was in the family, he and Eleanor could hide. Like, all the pressure was on him. But Jasper's like, you know what? You do a good job as the head of the family. And we also get another hallucination from Robert, who sees the woman again, and she asks, what do you want? I don't really get it. I don't know if that means, like, what do you want for your life, to come home or to stay there and die on that island? Or, do you want to come home to me? I didn't know.
I took it as choose if you want to stay or choose if you want to go, because you're going to have to choose basically your fate of dying on this island or getting saved and living out the royal lifestyle that you were living that I don't know if you were happy with. So I think that just kind of like sparked something in him, and he was realizing, all right, I need to make decisions now, and even though it's going to be terrible, like he clearly chooses to want to go back to the palace. So I think that was just the decision maker in his mind, like you have to choose one, like lesser of the two evils, I guess.
And how bad was it being the prince that he's like choosing to be like Tom Hanks on the
Yeah,
island?
I know.
I know. We talked about it being like Castaway.
Yeah.
Very Castaway.
I think that is how most of it seems like all the children feel that way
Yes.
about being in the royal family. I think the queen and Cyrus love being the head of the royal family, and all the children seem like, oh, if I could give this up tomorrow.
Yeah.
They seem
I
so
would.
burdened by it.
Yeah.
It's funny because the queen, Helena, I always mess that up. Anyway, so the queen, she always, whenever there's an episode and you think that maybe she doesn't actually want this, like, majesty or anything, you're like, oh, she doesn't want to actually have it. And then she does something to where she's like, I'm queen again. And it's like, okay, so you really do love being royal.
She thoroughly enjoys
Yeah.
it.
Well, I think it has something to do with being raised in the palace. And I mean, Cyrus, I'm not exactly sure, because at that point he had his older brother, and like there was a Robert essentially that took the heat off of you. But I feel like if you're raised to be like number one that entire time, it is, really, really stressful. There's no one else to take anything off of your shoulders.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
Right.
Agreed. We've got a real Prince Harry situation for poor Liam. Eleanor tells Liam he's a good person because he won't stop talking about, I'm really thinking about, am I even a good person? I think he's just struggling with the whole King Liam thing in his head constantly because he's like, I kind of just made someone get murdered a couple of weeks ago.
Well, and also, that's his potentially love of his life, like Fee, and people in the chat have been talking about her. We miss her.
Yes.
I'm glad they still mention her to do story continuity, but
Yeah.
I also am thinking she's going to come back. I don't know why she didn't last season. I was so surprised.
I think I saw something on social media that she's not being brought back this season, which I was team Liam and Ophelia.
Yeah.
I was totally team them, but I don't think she's coming back. So
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why actually, but I think I saw it on social media somewhere that she wasn't going to be returning this season. But yeah, I do miss them, and I think that was the only time I really saw him genuinely happy. And bringing up Ophelia and kind of talking about his happiness, I was thinking back to like, okay, really, when has he been happy? And the last time was when they went on that vacation
To
where
Monaco.
to Monaco.
So good.
That was the last time you actually saw him genuinely smile, because when they got back, everything went
Right.
crazy.
Right.
And so that's been a really long time, because
Yeah.
he's been struggling with this internal, I'm going to be king, I'm not going to be king, I have to fight back, I don't know how to fight back, and just all these internal struggles. So I think it would be exciting to see Liam find happiness. I just don't know if I personally want it to be with his brother's ex-girlfriend,
I know, that's
because it makes him kind of, for right now, I see Liam as this like innocence, like he has this innocence to him, and it's so endearing, and I don't want that to go away in him.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And for story continuity, I feel like they have to address that her father died.
Yeah.
He was there. They haven't spoken about it. Like, he hasn't expressed his condolences.
Well, he
to
did
her.
say he tried to contact her, but she's gone all off of
that's right,
social
that's
media.
right.
She changed her number.
Oh, that's right.
Everything. But I mean, I agree. I just think that like she was basically like the third or second main character the first season.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was kind of
Yeah.
about her story and then the royal story like coinciding, and now she's just gone. So
And we have
I
to
know.
know what exactly happened with her mother. What, like,
Yeah.
there's too many questions.
I know, I was kind of, when that whole thing was going down last season, I was trying to think of the true reason why she died. And for a second, I thought that maybe she was cheating on her husband. And I thought that maybe Ted was the one that killed her. So, like, I had all these, like, theories in my head. And then when we saw that he killed her, I was like, okay, he was just feeling vengeance. And
Right.
I was, like, totally thrown off. But, yeah, I wish we would kind of have a little bit more explanation. But who knows? We've been brought back to a lot of, like, full circle things. So maybe we'll get back to it eventually.
Right, there was a time when I thought Robert would never be brought up again. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's gone.
Same thing with about the paternity test. I thought that was going to be something we would never talk about again,
Yeah.
and then luckily they're trying to figure out how they can make it happen to make all this proof about King Liam.
Why can't they get the cousins, the two Maribel and Penelope's DNA? That would show that they're related.
Yeah.
they have too much
Father.
chlamydia. It's like just
I mean, we haven't heard about them in all this season, so I'm wondering if it's kind of a thing where it's kind of like they've kind of been written off, at least for now, off the show. Because Mark did tell us last season that one of the actresses, they had problems with her, so that's why they did the whole like makeover character situation with the one sister.
Oh, I was wondering about that. I was like, maybe they got another gig or something. Clearly had to have happened for the makeover situation to happen. That's
And
interesting.
I like
And-
them. I want them to come back.
Oh, I know. I think they're hilarious.
They were
And-
interesting.
And Mark was saying how sometimes, these characters that are like a B character, they're not like full cast A level character. It's sometimes their schedule will not work out with shooting the show, so then they can't use them and write them
Right.
in. So
Gotcha.
sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah.
At the end of this long carnival day, and they're back home in the palace, Eleanor is definitely flirting with Jasper and dressing in front of him. And they kind of have a conversation with each other. He says, I don't think us dating is a good idea. It's not fair to you. And she tells him a story, takes him to the library and tells him a story about how there was a royal family member who did fall in love with her bodyguard. They got married. They had children. One of the children's name was Jasper. And I just thought it was such an adorable story and way to tie everything all together. And thank God his character's name was Jasper. But she tells him she wants love letters in the hollowed out book, the same way that these two royals used to leave for each other. She does end up finding a letter in the book, but I'm wondering what it said because it seemed like she wasn't smiling. So it's another cliffhanger for us.
Yeah, I was
Any
wondering that too.
ideas?
I think it was a little too soon. I don't think
Yeah.
I think he needed more time to write the letter.
Oh. Oh.
That's true.
I'm wondering if it was like a I love you, but we can't be together.
I hope not.
or- I don't know.
So upset.
Maybe someone overheard and wrote.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking at first, my first initial reaction was like, oh, it's so adorable.
Yes.
That's perfect. But, and then again, right, things are probably too good to be true. So I guess we'll see where that one goes.
Liam goes to see Katherine. They kind of had this beautiful, like, kissing in the streetlight moment. You know, it's like, we shouldn't be together. We should be. There's a million reasons we can't. Blah, and they kiss anyway. And then we see Robert awaken one more time for one more hallucination with the beautiful blonde woman. We flash back to Katherine's apartment where Liam and her had just been kissing, but no, they're in bed together. They've just slept together.
Yes.
And we see the tattoo on her back, which matches the tattoo Robert was carving on a piece of wood earlier. And then we see the tattoo on the back of, like, the ghost woman that he's been hallucinating about. And then we see a helicopter come. So I think Robert's getting ready to send up a flare, but we don't know. But this is a huge bomb that Liam has allowed himself to fall in love with his brother's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm assuming it was the girlfriend that, like, he was with when he passed away or
And they
passed
showed a
away.
picture, right? Wasn't there a frame?
Yeah, they showed a
photo?
picture of them together.
Together.
That was the big, like,
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to know what that tattoo means, one. And two, I know she's vulnerable, but don't do that. Like, I feel like with Liam, sorry.
You think they
I
shouldn't
just
be
don't think
together?
they should be together, no.
She should at least get rid of the photo, like put the photo in the
Yeah,
drawer.
seriously. But yeah, I want to know what that tattoo means.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Oh, yeah.
Same with me.
And
like,
whatever happened to Dominique Stewart's brother? Like, he just killed him, and then they're like, oh, get rid of the dead body.
yes. So I'm wondering when his daughter will pop out of the woodwork like,
Yeah.
you killed my father, blah, I'm gonna get you. I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
And her and Liam kind of had something too.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I for a second got them confused.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was
they
like, oh,
do.
is this? And then, yeah.
Yes, I thought last week that this girl may have
Yes.
been that girl, the
Same.
Stewart girl. So
He likes blondes, I mean.
Yes.
What can he do?
Liam is definitely a blonde. Cyrus's storyline, real quick. They trick him into getting his retinas scanned in Mr. Hill's office for security. He sees some faux footage of Violet running around the palace, so it's either old footage they've placed in there or it's a body double or something. And he goes off running around the palace looking for her. In the meanwhile, they break into his bedroom with a really good double, which is actually the actor who plays Cyrus with a lot of heavy makeup on. And
Wait, it was him.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I was like, they really found someone that looks a lot like him.
No, he did a great job. It was very
Yeah.
funny. And they steal his testicle that has been preserved on the fire mantle. Kind of like one of
Interesting.
the, kind of like when you do like biology and you
Yeah.
those like,
Like
gross
formaldehyde.
there's so
It's like you have a
creepy.
baby's head or something, American Horror Story, something like that.
So gross. So they steal that and they get away with it. Later on, Cyrus figures that out, is pissed, and he confronts the queen. And I loved this line from him. He said, "I'm a dying man with sovereign immunity and nothing to lose." I mean-
Intense.
I don't know if he says a lot of mean things, but like that was the most poignant line I think he's ever said.
Yeah, I think we have some drama that is about to hit us head on. It's going to be scary and
I'm
intense.
excited.
It's going to be great.
What did I miss, gals? What did I miss?
Well, can we talk
Anything?
about who directed it really quick?
yeah.
Oh my god, go for it, girls.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited because I'm a huge One Tree Hill fan. Obviously, March 1
Me
is like
too.
amazing. And James Lafferty directed this episode.
Yeah, he
It was-
is amazing. He's a great. He directed a couple last year too. He is fantastic.
So just wanted to bring that up because shout out to James Lafferty. You did amazing.
Amazing.
Come
Really,
in to the studio.
Yeah.
one of
Yeah,
these
Yes.
we'll talk about it.
or like come over to my apartment. It's fine, whatever.
really quick. Let's each do one super quick prediction for next week, and then we'll
Your
get outta here.
Afterbuzz TV predictions.
Okay, I predict that they didn't show it from next week, but Robert will come back and it's gonna stir some things up.
Okay.
Yes. My quick prediction is that we're gonna have some sort of tiff between Liam and Katherine. She's gonna be like, we shouldn't have done that, and then Liam's gonna be heartbroken.
Oh. My prediction is that Cyrus messes with the DNA results, and even though it proves that they are, legitimate, he's going to mess with them somehow, intervene, and they're going to be shocked that it reveals they're not.
My prediction is that Eleanor and Jasper sleep together for the first time, and she gets that exclusive, like, we're exclusive thing from her because he says, I want you and only you in the promo. So I think things are going to get hot and heavy. All right,
Love
girls,
it.
where can we find you online to continue the convo?
Thanks for having me, guys. You can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram, and at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com.
And I'm Ally Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl.
This is Fern Ronay. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Fern Ronay, Ronay, and my website, fernronay.com.
And her book, Better in the Morning. Guys, it's Megan. You can find me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. It's all at Megan Stecher. It's MEGANSTECHER. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to be back next week. I believe Annabelle will be joining us next week. And thank you for joining us tonight, Sam.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
And Megan interviewed Jennifer Aniston. You forgot to mention that.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.